Hello everyone. Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another session on polity and constitution. I hope I'm audible as well as visible. Great. We'll wait for others to join and then we'll begin our class discussion for the day. Okay, so Vashna, those are two separate orders. Constitution, SC order and ST order are separate orders, separate lists. Basically, these are lists. So they are separate lists. No, today is not the last class of polity. We have a class on Monday and Satya, and we also have a class next Saturday. Tomorrow, there is no extra class of polity. Of polity. So enjoy. PVTG, Kishan, PVTG is basically a classification under scheduled tribes. That is of no concern for polity. So in your social issues classes, you'll be discussing on that, where you'll be told on what are the specific issues and concerns that they face on a sociological level, on an economic level, educational level, and what steps are being taken. Okay, that's it. Yes, Umang, that's true. That is there. Taran, yes, Taran, nothing is left. It's just the rights. DPSP is a 30-minute topic. Duties is a 10-minute topic. Official languages, 15-minute topic. Preamble, half an hour topic. That's it. That's all that is left. It's the rights which will take some time. So entire class of today will be devoted to rights only. And also on Monday, half the class is for rights only. Yes, Rahul, that is going to be sufficient. Abhishek and people with respect to NCT judgment, in the last class, I'll discuss briefly on that if time permits. Otherwise, we'll have some video on Polity Essentials on YouTube for you to view it. So that will be sufficient. Otherwise, in the last class, I'll just add a particular slide there for you guys so that you can study on what exactly was the judgment all about. Okay. Now, in the previous class, we had taken up for discussion the Articles 15, 16, 17 and 18. So that is the topic at hand. 15, 16, 17, 18. We had covered all those grounds. Then we also will be studying now some constitutional bodies, very easy and very simple. We'll also be looking into Article 19 today, and then 20, 21 and 22. That will be the next group of rights called right to freedom. Before we begin our discussion for the day, let us now begin our class with the standard 5 questions. Are we all up and ready, available, everybody? Yes, Vaibhav, this will be more than enough. Okay, so your time starts now. 45 seconds for each question. Okay, 1 minute here. Take 1 minute. Enjoy the minute and mark your answer accordingly. Yes, Shalu, that's absolutely correct. I think you had asked this question in the previous weekend class also. Okay, of course, 2 is correct, right? Salary of any class of persons can be reduced. We had discussed this point. So 2 is correct. 1 is not correct. Tell me, what is right in case of 1? There is no requirement of approval of parliament, or is it required? Yes, it is required. In how many months? Within 2 months by a simple majority. So 1 is wrong, 2 is right. The answer is B, 2 only, of course. Easy. Second question. Feel good question for everyone. Please mark the answer for this very difficult question. No, Vivek, it's 2 months. Shruti, hopefully in the month of July, June maybe, I believe. It's June. Mid or towards the end of June. Okay, wastage of time, so much of time. Supreme Court and the High Courts. Why? Because the executive, the legislature, other authorities all are covered under Article 12. Only Supreme Court and High Courts are not covered, C being the right answer. Moving on, question number 3. Time for a slightly challenging question. 1 minute of time. Please think, read properly, mark the answer. Please try to also use elimination. That could help you. Okay. Any of the lists that is being modified, even if you modify union list, you are either increasing the power or decreasing the power of the union. That is going to impact the states. This requires states approval. Article 368 requires states approval. Any situation where you are trying to curtail the power of high courts, jurisdiction of high courts for UTs, you are trying to curtail the powers, etc., will possibly require the what? Ratification by half the states. And administration of fifth schedule areas, it is not required, of course. It is by a simple majority. Provisions related to state emergency, that is President's rule. Of course, this does not need any kind of special majority, right? So this is also not there. 1, 2, and 4, B is the right answer. Okay. Yes, but union list comes under center's jurisdiction, but if you are trying to increase the subjects in union list, that would always compromise on the state list or the concurrent list. Are we clear? Any reduction in power, any modification with respect to High Court and Supreme Court, it is not about UTs or states. It is about high courts. Understand the concept behind the question. This question is not about UTs or states. This question is about high courts. High courts. High Court and Supreme Court modifications, right? They would require ratification with the approval of half the states. Again, I would request you refer to the slide that was there and you will find the answer. Okay. So moving on to question number 4. One minute for you. Again, read all the options carefully and please mark the answer. Prashant, as I said, it is all about High Court's power being abrogated, not the state government. Anyway, this is an easy question. Options are making this an easy question. How could you mark this wrong? How could you mark this wrong? Publishing the notification is done by whom? Please tell me. Please tell me. Who publishes the election program? MHA? CEC? This is done by the president or the governor. I drew such a beautiful chain diagram in such nice handwriting. You forgot all about it. So remove 5. This is gone. This is gone. This is gone. This is the answer. Are you clear? CEC published the notification. Amazing. Anyway, I would not like to respond to it. Now, you have the answer, but a very important question. Deregistering political parties. Registration of political parties. Registration comes under RPA. It is under Section 29 capital A. This will be covered under governance. But always remember, Election Commission of India cannot deregister a party. Why? Because deregistration is done by central government. Okay. Clear on this? And finally, Swarufuddin, this information was not required to answer this question. So don't worry. You'll be taught this in your governance classes any which way. Don't make all these statements, please. That is why I'm mentioning this point here. Are we clear on this? And that's why the question was framed so that you could have simply solved the question. Grow up, man, come on. Okay. Stop this cribbing behavior. Oh, this was not taught in the class. This was not taught in the class. So I'm telling you this right now. And the question is phrased in such a fashion that you can still solve the question. Anyway, last question for the day. I'll give you 45 seconds and mark the answer. Okay. Which of the below situations can lead to disqualification? Of course, when an independent member joins any party. So independent members are not allowed to join any party. Of course, one is correct. When a member criticizes his own party outside legislature, there is no such provision, at least in the ADL, that allows for this kind of disqualification. We have seen so many cases where members do, make negative statements against their party and all. So this is not a criteria, at least under ADL. Okay. So 2 is wrong. A1 only the right answer. This question was from the topic anti-defection law taught in your chapter Parliament. Okay. Sai Dinesh, Kishan, if independent people can join within a time frame, really? Guys, please tell me. Some people are saying that independent members can join any party within a time frame. What do we tell them? Okay. Thankfully, others remember, it is the nominated members who join within a time frame of 6 months. I am not shocked by the wrong statement. I am shocked by the confidence in the wrong statement. Anyway, moving on to our topic for the day. So these 5 questions we can clearly see. Explain the meaning of point 2. This is a wrong statement. What to explain the meaning here? When any member criticizes his or her own party outside the parliament, they cannot be disqualified for that. As simple as that. This is a wrong statement. My point is, please go and revise the ADL disqualification. There are only 3 disqualifications. That's it. 1 for people of a party, other for independent, and 3rd for nominated. There is no the disqualification only. Okay. Within parliament also they may not be disqualified. It does not really matter, but within parliament, if they vote against the party, that could be a problem. What kind of criticism is there? Is the criticism amounting to voting also? So the question is not about voting, it is simply criticizing. So let's stick to what is the statement here. Anyway, that's all. Are we done? Any doubts? Any dispute? Lack of revision? Please write yes. Okay, great. So now the leaderboard for the day. Oh, that is why who was saying leaderboard today? Show the leaderboard. Ravi and Mayank Singh. Great. SS. Who is SS? Gulam, Sachin, Anuj, Baldev, Shobhit, Konda, Abhishek, Aarti, Prerna, Devansh, Rohit, Bhumika, Yatindra, Kirutega, Femina, Saurabh, Abhishek, Swati. I'm sure there would be others who have gotten 4 correct. Oh, pretty decent. A lot of you got 4 correct today. Nice. Okay. No problem. Who is SS bhai? Is SS the topper for the day? No. Oh, 4 correct. Oh, Shreya. Okay. Easy question, that's why 4 correct. Oh, nice. Great. Okay, guys, let's move on now. Let's understand the topics at hand. Constitutional bodies, very easy, very basic. There are 3 such bodies: NCSC, NCST, NCBC. I would prefer if you remember the article, it would be nice. 338, 338A, 338B. NCSC is 338, NCST is capital A, NCBC is capital B. Okay. First up is the body called National Commission for Scheduled Castes, NCSC. This body was created. So we already had a body since 1990s called NCSC and ST. A common body was there. But then we realized that scheduled caste people and scheduled tribes people, they have different problems, different issues, different discrimination, and they are or they have different aspirations. We cannot simply have this common ground. It's not possible. So we thought, why not 2 separate bodies for the SCs, STs separately? So in the year 2003, bifurcation took place, and we found bifurcation. You bifurcate means you divide. Okay, that is called bifurcation. So bifurcation took place and we formed 2 separate bodies. One body called NCSC, one called NCST. Bifurcation on the basis of the importance, the expectations of people, the problems being faced. So we said that we said that the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes people, hear me out guys, hear me out. Couple of you are asking what is bifurcation, hear me out. The bifurcation or the division of these 2 bodies, creating 2 separate bodies, was basically based on the idea that a scheduled caste person faces different kind of problems. A scheduled tribes person faces different kind of problems. There is nothing common between these 2 people. We saw yesterday, the criteria is different. That is why we thought we should have 2 different bodies. Okay. Now, one more thing. What is the purpose of NCSC? You will say, sir, the purpose is to promote and protect the social, educational, economic, the cultural interests of scheduled castes. Very good, but partially correct. Why? NCSC looks into, please focus, protect and promote social educational, economic, and cultural interests of scheduled castes, yes or no, and Anglo-Indians. Are we clear on this? NCSC takes care of not just scheduled caste people but also Anglo-Indians, because see, the Anglo-Indian population is very small, and for that having a separate body would be a problem, unnecessary expenditure. So NCSC is the body which takes care of the issues and concerns faced by Anglo-Indians also. Please keep this in mind. Don't forget it. If a question in prelims is asked, don't get confused. Okay. So what this body does is to oversee the implementation of various safeguards that are mentioned with respect to scheduled castes in the constitution, plus also Anglo-Indians. Okay. Members, we have a chairperson, we have a vice chairperson, and there are 3 other members. These members head legal cell, library, and the programming cell of the NCSC, and their appointment, everything is decided by the government only, the president only. So we have no other thing mentioned in the constitution, the salary, etc. Everything is decided by the president. Now coming to functions. What are the duties and functions of NCSC? Such bodies have very typical duties and functions. What kind of duties and functions? Number 1, to investigate, to monitor any and every matter with respect to safeguards of the scheduled castes in the country. Number 2, inquire into specific complaints, as I was giving the example yesterday of the office staff who complained to NCSC against his senior that he is selectively giving me difficult tasks in the office because of my caste. So what is that? You can send a complaint to NCSC, they will inquire into complaints wherever the scheduled caste people's rights are being deprived. Okay. Then they also participate and advise in the planning and process of socio-economic development of the scheduled castes. Then they also present to president reports. Annual reports are published on what is the condition of the scheduled castes, what has been the upliftment, etc. Then they also make recommendations to the central government, to the state governments, on how to effectively implement the safeguards, how to protect the scheduled castes in the country, and also discharge any other function with respect to welfare and development of scheduled castes as the government or the president or the parliament may specify them. Clear? Then, very important. This article is very important. Clause. Union and every state government shall consult the commission. Mandatory. Whenever center or state government makes any major policy which impacts scheduled caste people, you have to consult NCSC. It's mandatory. It's not optional. Yes, their advice may not be mandatory, but the consultation is required. Are we clear on this? These are the powers and functions performed by the NCSC. And because NCSC can also look into complaints, NCSC has the powers of a civil court, meaning a quasi-judicial body. Are we clear on this? What is a quasi-judicial body? Oh, sorry, what is a power of a civil court? These are powers of civil court. So very generic kind of thing. Uh, just a sec, guys. Okay, guys, am I audible to everyone now? Okay, any issue? Robotic voice, voice breaking? No, okay. So couple of you are facing a problem. I think we'll have to refresh maybe. Okay. So powers of civil court. Basically, the power of civil court refers to the power given to a body to call people and act as a witness. Remember, I had mentioned this point. Act as a witness. Power of calling people and asking them to submit any document, evidence, etc. That is the power of a civil court. So don't mug up this. It is just for you to understand generic information. What is power of a civil court? Summoning people, enforcing their attendance, requiring the submission of documents, receiving evidence on affidavits, requisition, calling for any public record, issuing summons, communicating people to examine witnesses and documents, basic things, right? So this is what normally is the power of a civil court. NCSC has this power also. Why? Because it is looking into complaints. Are we clear? So any person who belongs to the scheduled caste category can simply file a complaint to NCSC if they face any kind of harassment or discrimination. If they go to a police station, the policeman refuses to take up your complaint, NCSC is always open to accepting your complaint. Okay. So affidavit, basically, see, these words are not required for you to be known, frankly. But affidavit is a certified document which is actually attested, notarized, right? This makes you legally binding to what you are submitting. If it is false, you can be punished also. Okay. Then requisition is to call for. That means to call. Now you somebody summon is to call. Requisition, any document, summon any person. Are we clear? Who to report? Go to NCSC website. You will find the legal cell there. Click on that link. You can upload your comment. Okay. Social or workplace harassment, sir. Vivek, any harassment that any SC person faces. That is all as far as the National Commission for Scheduled Castes is concerned. We are done with the topic. Why? Because the functions, the provisions of NCST and NCBC are exactly the same. Word to word, line by line, everything is exactly the same. The only difference is that in case of scheduled caste, it is scheduled tribe. In case of backward NCBC, it is the backward classes. That's it. The only thing that you need to know is that NCBC was formed through the 102nd Amendment Act 2018. Okay, that's it. Yes, it is copy pasted. I mean, why to call it copy pasted? That's how it is. Okay, that is all with respect to the constitutional bodies. Now guys, in case you have any doubt or first point, forget this is not really important. You are getting into the details of something which is completely irrelevant. This is highly technical in nature. It is not required. Please ignore it. Just understand, in summary, power of a civil court simply means asking people to submit documents, asking people to appear as witness. That's the power. Done. Sufficient. Okay. Whether you are summoning and enforcing attendance of persons for anything, attendance, maybe the person has a complaint, has asked you to be a witness. You are saying, no, I will not come. The civil court can say, come on, come, be a witness there. Or you have to be called to examine some documents. Maybe you are some office person, you are busy somewhere, you are being called to examine document here. You say, I will not come. So that can also be done. You can be called to examine people and documents. That's the difference between 1 and the 5th point. Okay, so that is there. Don't get into the nitty-gritties. Anjana, no, for ST it is not. See, NCSC is meant for Anglo-Indians. Please understand. Others are for STs and backward classes. And yes, in case there is anybody who has any issue, sir, is that caste, scheduled tribe, I would request you please Google for Constitution Scheduled Caste Order. Download it, search by your state, and you will find the names of all the castes mentioned there, which come under SC, ST, same goes for SEBC. The only thing is going to be SEBC state-wise also list is there. So it may happen that you may belong to an SEBC in your state, but you are not an SEBC at the central level. Are we clear? But for SCs and STs, it's very simple. You can simply download the document and find out the category. Done. Now coming to the next group of rights, right to freedom. Okay. Articles 19 to 22. First up is Article 19, a very beautiful article which gives us lot of rights. 6 different kinds of rights are given under Article 19. And let me remind you, there are certain rights which are available only to citizens. Let's recap quickly. 15, 16, 19, 29, 30. Okay. Here also, all the citizens shall have the right. Citizens only. Now, 6 types of rights are there. Freedom of speech and expression, to assemble peaceably, meaning peacefully and without arms, to form associations or unions or cooperative societies. This statement was added via 97th Amendment Act 2011. Okay, clear? Then to move freely throughout the territory of India, to reside and settle in any part of the country. F has been repealed now. F used to be to acquire, hold, and dispose of property. This is no longer there. Lastly, G, to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. POTB. 6 types of rights are there. But Article 19, this is all clause 1. Mind you, all this is Article 19, clause 1, subclause A, subclause B, C, D, E, F. 1 clause only. Now, all these rights that you will enjoy, every right has a restriction. Every right has a restriction. Article 19(1)(a). The restriction is mentioned under Article 19, Clause 2. Article 19(1)(b), Clause 3. 19(1)(c), Clause 4. For both of them, restriction is the same, 19.5, and for 19.1G, 19.6. Okay, these are the restrictions. Very important. Yes, we can impose restrictions on Article 19, but the restrictions have to be by law, and they have to be reasonable restrictions. You cannot impose unreasonable restrictions on Article 19. Okay, let us see what these restrictions are after all. So first up, we have the freedom of speech and expression. Now, in our constitution, we just have mentioned this word, freedom of speech and expression. This also includes right to silence. So you are free to speak. You also have the right to remain silent, which you do when I ask a question, right? Second thing, you also have the right to know about the activities of the government. This also includes freedom of press. This also includes right to access information over the internet. All these are included in Article 19(1)(a) through various judgments of the Supreme Court. But look at this. What is this right? Freedom of speech and expression, 3 words. 8 different kinds of restrictions are there. Meaning, you cannot misuse your speech and expression to hamper sovereignty and integrity of India. You will not use your speech and expression to hamper security of the state. You will not use your speech and expression to hamper friendly relations with foreign states. You will not use your speech and expression to hamper public order, to hamper decency, morality, contempt of court, defamation, incitement to an offense. Are we clear? Things like friendly relation with foreign states, public order, and incitement to an offense. These restrictions have been added in 1951. Okay. Sovereignty and integrity of India, this was added through the 16th Amendment Act, 1963. My simple question is, this sovereignty and integrity of India, this phrase has been mentioned in which other place? Through the same Amendment Act, this word was added somewhere else also. I want to know that place where the word was added. Don't write preamble, it is the wrong answer. I have not taught preamble, why will I ask you the question? Vijay, Atmakudi, Shalu, Rishandandor. 4 people who have marked this correct. It was added in the oath taken by the ministers, oath of office. Okay, oath of office. Do you even remember oath of office? Which schedule? Please tell me. Which schedule? Okay, it is not schedule 2, it is schedule 3, because schedule 2 is meant for salaries. Okay, moving on now to understanding these restrictions. Incitement to an offense, inciting somebody, provoking somebody. Incite means what? To provoke. So, in the Kedarnath case, 1962, a 5-judge bench has given a judgment on what exactly would it mean inciting somebody to commit an act of violence. Okay. Now, first things first, let me ask you a question here only. What is your opinion? Let us say there is a discussion going on somewhere. Should Kashmir be given independence? What is your opinion? Discussion going on this topic. Please tell me. Can we have this discussion? Yes or no? What is your opinion? Okay. Interesting. A lot of you have said no, strict no. We can't even discuss this thing. That's very surprising because this shows, I mean, the future bureaucrats are going to be one crazy lot who are going to suppress rights of people. I think the Supreme Court would disagree with most of you here. Supreme Court says discussions, however annoying they are always allowed. Always allowed. However, Supreme Court's language in the TG Doordarshan case 2006, Supreme Court said the exact same statement. However critical, however annoying they are, we cannot prevent discussions from happening. However critical or annoying. Okay. Second thing, Supreme Court says when it comes to advocating something, meaning what? Preaching something, asking people, should we take steps to provoke Kashmiris to part ways from India? Now you are crossing the boundary. You can discuss the pros and cons, what is the advantage, what is the challenge that you can face. But if you ask people that let's give it a shot, now you are crossing the boundary. So Supreme Court says, sorry, you can preach something, it is allowed only within the framework of the Constitution. Allowed within constitutional framework. Are we clear? Discussion is a mere discussion on any topic, right? About the intricate elements of that topic. There is nothing wrong in that. Discussions can take place on any topic. The moment you start preaching that idea is where you are wrong. We can very well discuss on the rights and wrongs of religion. What's the harm in discussing about religion? What's the harm in questioning religion? There's no harm. The moment you start preaching negatively against something, that causes a problem. So that is what is advocacy. If the constitution allows for it, okay. If not, sorry. Meaning, if we start telling people, let's go and talk about, or very simple. In our class yesterday, did we not discuss untouchability? Tell me. What will you say? Were we discussing untouchability or not? Discussion allowed. But the PCRA also says you cannot preach untouchability. You cannot justify untouchability. You cannot tell people practice untouchability. That's the limit you can't cross. Please understand, discussion should always be allowed. Somebody is saying that, sir, can you discuss the merits of sati? Of course, if you have any kind of statement to make with respect to pros or cons, we are open to it. Are you telling us now, let's practice that? That's crossing the limit. Are we clear on this? Now, number 3. Incitement to an offense. See, advocate here does not mean the advocate. Advocacy is to preach. Third thing, what Supreme Court says is wrong is inciting people to commit a crime. So, a classic example in this is what is not allowed. We cannot ask people break the laws. Sorry. You can't ask people to commit an act of violence. So, a classic example here would be hate speech. Let me tell you, there is no definition of hate speech in the country. No definition of hate speech in the country. So it has to be decided on a case-to-case basis, as simple as that. So all you can do is discuss and advocate or preach something within the framework of the Constitution. That's it. If you ask people to commit any act of violence, or if you ask or if you start advocating something which is beyond the Constitution, so if you start saying, come on, let's hold a rally, advocating, let's hold a rally in favor of convincing people that let's give away Kashmir to Pakistan. This is affecting the integrity and sovereignty of India. You can't hold such a rally because now you are preaching this idea. You can sit on a table and discuss the merits and demerits of that, but you can't go and preach this idea. Two different things. Are they clear? That is why Supreme Court constantly keeps a check. Even incitement to offense is not some blanket thing here. You have to always keep a check on what was the statement made. Was there a direct correlation? I'll give a very beautiful example, okay, of this same concept. So there's a Marathi movie called Court. People from Maharashtra would know this. Others should know this. It's a very good movie, a national award winning movie called Court. In this movie, the concept is very simple. So what happens is that this person who is a poet, shown as a left-wing poet, he goes to various places, performs on the stage, delivers his poetry and all. So he goes to a chawl, and in that chawl, the chawl largely comprised of people who were all working as manual scavengers, scheduled caste people. So they would enter the drains and clean the drains and all, the manholes on the road, etc. And the government was not providing them with the safety gear to enter the drains, because when you enter the drain, there are a lot of poisonous gases also inside the manhole on the roads that you see. Sometimes the drain gets clogged. Okay. So if you remember the movie Article 15, when finally one person enters a manhole and a very slow lo-fi kind of music plays in the background, Sare Jahan Se Achha, I believe, plays on the background. I'm not sure which song played in the background. So that is what is the idea. Somebody goes inside the drain and cleans that. Now, that poet comes to that chal, and what happens? He tells the people that what kind of life is this? You are sent to these gutters to clean the latrines of people without even safety gear by the government. This is not a dignified life. It's better to die than live this dignified life. So basically, he was trying to aggravate people into getting the government to provide them safety gear. Clear? But after a few days, one of the manual scavengers overtly, he was drunk, clearly. He slipped and fell down in the manhole and died. The police arrested this person, the poet, saying, you had told the people in a performance few days back that die than living this life. Commit suicide. So section 306, abetment to suicide is being done by you, right? So very strange, right? So it may not always be the case that when you make a statement, you are inciting people. The court will look into whether there was a direct relationship between what you said and what the person did. If today I tell you something, what kind of life is this? Wasting time on YouTube shorts and Instagram and Netflix and daydreaming. It's better to die than to live like this. Come on, clear the exam. But I am only motivating you. Please, motivation. If you go and die and all, that is not my concern. It was out of motivation. Don't do all this, please. There are plenty of other jobs also in life. But anyway, the idea being motivation. So you have to also understand that sometimes some words have a different context, especially for poetry, etc. So there also, the courts will look into what was your intention, whether the person understood the meaning correctly or not, and was the reaction immediate or not. These things are there. Friedrich Nietzsche, he said that not all men are born equal. Some are destined for bigger things in life. Hitler thought that not all men are born equal, kill all the Jews. But that was his own problem, that he misinterpreted what a philosopher said. So we cannot rely on your problem. If you have a problem in understanding something, that's your concern. If I give a speech which is meant for something else and you misunderstood it, sorry, I can't be blamed. You should be blamed. Okay. So again, all these things with respect to this are decided by the court. Okay. So this was the incitement to an offense. Second thing, now just because we are studying this topic, there is also an interesting topic that we should know. This is called sedition. A lot of you must be aware of this. It's not in the Constitution. It's in section 124A of IPC, Indian Penal Code. IPC, sedition. Sedition was not originally there in the IPC. It was added later on. Added in 1870 by James Stephen. Okay. So James Stephen, he recommended the addition of sedition. Now the point is, what is the meaning of sedition? What the hell is this sedition? So you must have heard of this word. Simple question, just type yes or no. Sedition means any anti-national activity. Yes or no? Okay, a lot of you are saying yes. Anti-national activity. Okay. Stop now. Time over. One more question. Do you think government means nation? Government means nation. Yes or no? Of course not. Because government can change. Nation remains the same, right? Rule of law. Laws rule. People, they don't rule. Let's read the definition of sedition. You will have a change of opinion. This is the definition of sedition under IPC. Please read carefully. Whoever by words, either spoken or written words, or by signs, or any visible representation, whether you speak, you write, you show symbols, signs, gestures, etc. Bring or attempt to bring. What do you bring or attempt to bring? Hatred, contempt, disgust, or you excite or attempt to excite, provoke disaffection. Disaffection towards whom? The country, towards the government established by law. Sedition does not mean anti-national. Sedition means anti-government. This is the biggest misconception that we normally have. Of course, this law was made by Britishers. Why do you think this law was made by Britishers? Britishers had no interest in us appreciating or criticizing our country. Their sole interest was that you should not criticize them. So when all the propaganda started against the Britishers and their rule that was there in the country, how they're mismanaging the resources, etc., to prevent this from happening, we had what? Anti-government statements will be punished now. Every great leader, from Tilak to Gandhi to all great leaders, have been in jail for sedition. Of course, they had to be, because they had to criticize the British government. And if you criticize, jail. And look at the punishment. With imprisonment, can you read the statement here? For life. For life. To which fine can be added. Or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years. So there are only two punishments. 3 years jail or life term jail. If you practice untouchability, jail of 6 months. If you cause defamation to an individual, jail of 2 years maximum. Contempt of court, 6 months. But if you are making fun of the government, you can be jailed for life. What nonsense is this? In a democracy, and what is the meaning of hatred? What is the meaning of contempt? Disaffection? What is disaffection? This means that the government has a right to be loved, or what? That we have to love the government. If I don't appreciate your policies, I don't like your policies, I don't want to have any affection towards you. You tomorrow will say, you are voting against government, disaffection, jail. Such loose words. By my loyalty is towards the nation, not towards the person in power. Towards the person in power, you are accountable to me. Please understand. People in power are accountable to us. We, the people of India, have given to ourselves this constitution. And we have chosen these people to represent us. Now we can't even criticize them. Okay. So this is, of course, a British-made law. Now what happened? Lot of the people used to get arrested under sedition. In fact, there's a very famous, interesting situation. This author, Arundhati Roy, I'm sure most of you would know her. She wrote an amazing book called God of Small Things. That's the only achievement in life for her. Apart from it, all she has been doing in the last few years is constantly criticizing India, its culture, its people, its past, its practices on public platforms. So anyway, that's her personal bias. We don't care. When she was taking part in some discussion, a case was registered against her, anti-sedition case. But a very funny situation happened in 2021. So there was this journalist called Vinod Dua. Vinod Dua, he used to, you would not know, Vinod Dua used to host a show called Zyka India Ka, original food vlogger. So in the 1990s and all, a very popular show, Zyka India Ka. So Vinod Dua, he later on joined the Wire and all, and you know the Wire, you know, Scoop, Whoop and all what they do. So the Wire and all these have only one agenda: criticize the government, criticize the country, criticize the practices, criticize the Sanatan Dharma. That's their only way out. They will not criticize anything wrong in any other aspect, but they will only criticize the culture of this country. They find everything wrong in this country's culture, but still they want to be in India only. That's the sad part. Anyway, it's your choice. We don't really care. So he would spit venom every evening in one YouTube show that he used to host. And so in one show, he said he criticized the Prime Minister's handling of COVID, where people are dying. And he also said that PM had used death, terror attacks to get votes and win the elections. That's your perspective. You have every right to hold the perspective. You have every right to criticize the government. Every right to criticize the government. But one Himachal Pradesh local leader from BJP, Ajay Shyam, he registered a case that this is an anti-government activity and hence sedition case. This case was registered. He was given bail by the court, but this matter went to Supreme Court finally. In 2021, SG Wombat-Kere case. That what kind of law is this? I can't even question my government. If I simply say, I do not appreciate the Prime Minister's way of handling the COVID, people are dying, what the hell are you doing? If I don't have a right to say this in a democracy, is it really a democracy? Is a bigger question. Anyway, what do governments say? Over the years, governments have always supported this idea. In fact, in 2021 winter session also, when one Badruddin Ajmal in Rajya Sabha asked a question in question hour, government, will the Home Minister be pleased to say that are we going to remove or repeal sedition? Government said no. We have no plan to repeal sedition. The law will continue. Government says this law is very useful in combating anti-national activities. But this law is anti-government. Terrorist elements. Secessionist, meaning secession is to part ways. If anybody wants to create their own country, move out of India, etc., then this law prevents that. Frankly, it does not. It prevents overthrowing of an elected government via illegal and violent means. Don't we have Article 352 for that? Armed rebellion. If there is any armed rebellion, we can use Article 352. It acts as a check against contempt of government. So basically, government says there is something called contempt of court. You can't criticize the court uselessly without any fact. If you can't criticize the court, why are you criticizing us? Don't make fun of us. Like a small school kid, don't make fun of us. Sir, the court is an elected authority or appointed one. The court is appointed. You are elected. Please don't equate yourself with the court. We have chosen you. We have every right to criticize you. What is this nonsense? Don't make fun of us. Please love me. Affection and love cannot be manufactured. I think most of you would know this in your personal life also, right? It just happens because of your good behavior and good deeds and the regular messaging and all. It can never be created. So that's how it is. Lastly, the government also says that it also counters Maoist insurgency, left-wing extremism. There are so many provisions. You have Arms Act, you have UPA. We'll study what is UPA, etc. Why do you want to have sedition? So arguments against it are very clear. It goes against Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A. Why? Because it is an unreasonable restriction. Yes or no? Unreasonable. Why can I not criticize the government? What is the problem in this? It prevents dissent, difference of opinion, criticism of the government. Dissent and criticism are the most essential ingredients of a very thriving and vibrant democracy. And you are saying, don't criticize me, please love me. Hare, we can't love you. You please improve your governance and we love you. No problem. Then poor conviction rate. Poor conviction rate. You'll be surprised that out of 100 people arrested by the police, in some cases, it was as low as 3.3%, meaning what? Out of 100 people arrested, only 3 were found to be guilty by the court. You are randomly arresting people, just harassing them by arresting them wrongfully. And in 2021, Andhra Pradesh held the record, highest number of cases against MP R.K. Raju, TV5 channel, ABN Andhra Jyoti, right? In 2020, don't worry, Manipur was the highest. Proud moment for Manipur people. In 2019, Karnataka was the highest. In Karnataka, highest number of cases filed against sedition, in name of sedition. In 2018, Jharkhand held the record. In 2017, I think Assam held the record. 2016, Haryana. 2015, Bihar. 2014, Jharkhand. Every year, some state creates a record in filing sedition cases against its own people. Right? People are arrested. But the court will always find them not guilty. But if you arrest somebody and keep them in jail for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, we know how quick our judiciary is. That is punishment for the person. For what? For only criticizing the government. And definition contains vague terms. What is meant by hatred? What is meant by disaffection? Based on these very vague terms, you can't arrest people. And eventually there are plenty of alternatives available. You have Article 352. You have some IPC is there. There are other sections also. Section 121 to 130 are available. Then you also have something called UPA. UAPA. I'll discuss this law shortly, so don't worry. Don't be shocked. Sir, what is UPA? What is UPA? I'll come to it in maybe half an hour. Then Arms Act. There are so many laws in the country which can do this task. Okay. Of anti-national activity, etc. Anyway, coming to the SG Wombatkere case, which was filed with respect to Vinod Dua. This matter came up for hearing last year in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that this is nonsense. It is a relic of colonial legacy. It is unsuited to democracy. And that is why Supreme Court asked the government, what is your stand on this sedition? Tell me, are you cancelling it? The government said, sir, the usual tactic. Government said, sir, please give us time. They always want time for everything. So Supreme Court said, take time. As much time as you want, take it. But till you don't respond, no new case will be filed under sedition. You will not take any coercive action, no punishment in any pending case of sedition. Take time. So the Supreme Court has not cancelled it. It has simply put it in the cold storage now. So sedition cannot be used now because till the government responds, no case can be filed under sedition. So this law is gone for good riddance for this law finally. And also let me tell you, just recently, I think a couple of months back in Pakistan, because Pakistan has the same legacy, they have their own Pakistan Penal Code, which is nothing but the IPC only. There also there is one section 124A called sedition. So in the Harun Farooq case, 2023, a Lahore High Court has struck down the law sedition as unconstitutional in Pakistan. Justice Shahid Karim was a judge there. So this section has already been cancelled in our neighboring country, Pakistan. The time has come that our country also cancels it. I mean, Supreme Court should have cancelled the law. What is this giving more time to government? Nonsense. So they should have cancelled it. But yes, it's also very important to tell people that sedition is not anti-national. This is just anti-government. Anyway, this matter is done and dusted. Since no new case can be filed, so end of story. Now the government can decide. Please tell us whenever you have time. Till then, you can't harass people. End of story. That is all as far as sedition is concerned. Are we clear, everybody? So now feel free to criticize your government. You have elected them. You have every right to criticize the elected representatives if they don't perform their tasks. It's fully okay. That is why even if Vinod Dua, he is no longer there, even if he made any kind of negative remarks, he held any kind of view, it is okay, we don't care. We will always be there to uphold the rights of individuals in this country. Whether you are there for us or not, we don't care. But true nationalism is this only, upholding the essential values of this country. Whether you appreciate this country or you don't, we'll always stand up for you. Don't worry. Okay, coming to the second part that has been in news recently, defamation. What is defamation? So I hope you know the grand case of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. What is defamation? Are you aware of this person? Of course you are. Some of you must be diehard fans also of Salman Bhai. And are you aware of this person? This person is called KRK. Kamal R. Khan. Kamal R. Khan is also related to the cinema business. He has been a part of some movies, and whenever in your life you feel that you're not worthy enough of doing good things, you feel demotivated and you feel like not doing anything, just remember that people like them also exist, survive and are doing well in life. He made a movie called Deshdrohi, and he currently on YouTube makes videos reviewing other movies. He had made a movie called Deshdrohi, which I believe would be amongst the top 10 worst ever movies made in the country. But anyway, look at the fate that he now reviews other movies. Okay, no problem. Anyway, couple of years back, Salman Bhai made a movie called Radhe. It was a remake of a South Korean movie, Outlaws, a very popular South Korean movie. But you know, when we remake the movie, we add all the physics-defying and brain-defying moments into it, and we spoiled it completely. Not to offend the Salman Bhai fans and all. Please don't come after me. So, anyway, in that movie, there was this actress called Disha Patni. Are you aware of Disha Patni? No? This you will say yes. Amazing. Asking other people, you're like, no idea. Here, everybody is yes. Super. Anyway, so Disha Patni is an actress, a model, etc. So she was the actress, and now she is young. Salman Khan is of the same age as Amit Shah. They both have almost same age, 1 year difference maybe. That's it. So KRK constantly kept on calling Salman Khan because of his age as Daddu. Daddu is a term of endearment, love for the grandfather, from the word Dadaji, Daddu. And he constantly called Salman Khan Daddu because of his old age. Salman Khan did not like this. This is a classic case of defamation. Okay. Now, look at this. Definition. Any person who by spoken or written words, signs or visible gestures creates or publishes any kind of imputation. Imputation means accusation. Accusation on any person with an intention to harm the reputation of the person. If you make any statement, give any speech, write any article which harms the reputation of any individual, and you know very well your accusation is going to ruin the reputation of the person. You are doing it deliberately. Okay? Any accusation, any statement, let us say today you get up and say, oh, this IAS officer is corrupt. Now you are deliberately damaging the reputation of the person, right? So this is a classic example of defamation. You get up and say, why are all Modis only thieves? You are deliberately making an accusation which you know very well can harm the reputation of a person. Are you getting the point? Everybody? So this is what is called defamation. Clear? Now, if you do this, there can be two types of punishments. Salman Khan can go and say that, I'll give a better example. Are you aware of the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case? The trial. So in this situation, Amber Heard, she made allegations against Johnny Depp of domestic abuse, violence, etc. Because of which Johnny Depp had to lose out on a lot of franchisees, movies, etc. Later on, he filed a defamation case against her, claiming some $100 million or whatnot. Why? Because you filed a case of defamation against him and now nobody is giving him work. Imagine Salman Bhai goes to court and says that he is calling me Dadu. Now no young actress wants to work with me. When I come to them, they touch my feet and say, please give me blessings. So how can I work with them? Nobody is giving me a movie. So I am losing out on money. So please, I want you to ask this person to compensate me with some monetary compensation. Monetary compensation. Because your statements have caused monetary damage to me. Okay, clear? Now, the alternative can be that I don't want money and all. My satisfaction will only be achieved if I see KRK in the jail. Criminal defamation. So there can also be seeking monetary compensation. You will file a case. You decide what you want. Or you can file a criminal case where it can be jail up to 2 years, which was given to Rahul Gandhi, the maximum punishment. This was stupid. But maximum punishment is too much. Or fine or both. Okay. So it can be civil or criminal depending on what case I file. It is my choice to file a case. So I can file a civil case, I can file a criminal case. Are you clear? This is called defamation. Now, what is the problem with defamation? First things first, how do you assess the value of damage? If today you make a statement against, say, any act, let's say you make a statement against Tushar Kapoor. Now, Tushar Kapoor goes and files a case against you seeking damage of 10,000 crores. That my value worth 10,000 crores has been hampered. Sir, your value is not 10,000 crores. Please, come on, be serious. How do you assess the damage caused? Who is Tushar Kapoor? Exactly. So, think that, let us say somebody makes fun of you. You go to court and say, sir, please ask the person to pay me 10 crore rupees. Why? Because my reputation was worth 10 crore rupees. It has been damaged. The court asks you, how much money in your GPay account? Show me. You say, sir, 34 rupees. Court says, get lost. So you can make any kind of statement that my damage is 10 crores, 100 crores, exaggerating the damage. How do you find that damage number? We don't know. Number two, let us say today you write an article sitting in Chennai. Sitting in Chennai, you are writing an article and you are criticizing, say, Rahul Gandhi, Narendra Modi. You know very well that Rahul Gandhi, Narendra Modi, their fans are spread across the country. Their fans are spread across the country. So somebody reads the article in Kerala, becomes very angry, files a case against you. Somebody reads the article in Gujarat, files a case against you. Somebody reads the article in, say, Jammu and Kashmir, in Delhi, in Lucknow, in Patna, in Calcutta, in Guwahati, in Andaman Nicobar, in Lakshadweep, all across the country, cases are filed against you. Defamation. It's one case only. You can say, sir, we can transfer the cases to one place. Of course, but you have to go to all these courts saying, sir, please transfer case, please transfer case. Your Bharat Darshan begins without clearing UPSC. You have to travel everywhere. Like in the case of Nupur Sharma, multiple cases of defamation were filed against her across the country. This can be a tool of harassment. Are we clear? Next time, if you write something, you will think 100 times before writing any article on Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi. So it curbs your freedom of speech and expression. Then, let us assume you, people sitting in this class, you may have your social media accounts and all. Let's say you purchase some new shirt, new jeans, new shoes, new top, new skirt, whatever, and post a photograph on Instagram, etc., new DP on WhatsApp, waiting for people to say nice DP, likes, very good. But you know, friends are like this only. They'll always make fun of you, whatever you do. Your friends have made fun of you. What kind of top is this? What kind of shirt is this? Right? Now, if somebody makes fun of you, what do? You sit at home and cry. Maybe you shut down the Instagram, block the friend, go out, cry more, come back home. After 2 days, you're back to posting new photographs. You don't go to court and file a case. You don't have time for all that. It is exploited primarily by the rich and elite people. Salman Khan had time to file the case. Arun Jaitley had time to file the case. Nana Patekar has time to file the case. Poor people don't have any interest in filing a case. And think of this. This is actually a private dispute. Now, I'm not sure how many woke people are here, but back in your school days also, you were made fun of for various things. For being tall, for being short, for being thin, for being fat, hundreds of things. Right? Imagine now you go to the police. You go to police and say, sir, he is calling me tall, he is calling me short. Now the police, who have the task of arresting criminals in bank robberies, terrorists, murderers, they say, okay, leave all that. Somebody has made fun of him, he's crying, let me arrest that person. This is, you are using the limited public resources of police, of the judiciary. Anyway, we have less number of judges, limited police personnel, and you want to use them to settle these kind of problems. These are largely personal disputes. A versus B. It can very easily be solved with a civil defamation. Why do you want a criminal case to be filed? Right? Why do you want to file a criminal case? This is too much. But sadly, this has been upheld by Supreme Court. In fact, in 2016, there was a case, Subramaniam Swamy case, where a petition was filed that defamation should only be a civil offense. Why are you sending people to jail for making fun of somebody? That is too harsh. Now you yourself imagine whatever speech Rahul Gandhi made, even the hardcore fans of BJP, if you are logical fan, you would never agree that this is 2 years of jail is too much. 2 years of jail is simple harassment. All these politicians make similar kind of remarks against each other. So this is a bit too much. Sending people to jail and all is not justified. But Supreme Court said no. Supreme Court said it is a duty of the government to protect reputation of citizens. I mean, rather than telling that it is a duty of the government to protect for the poor, uplifting the society. Supreme Court says no, but reputation is also very important. Yeah, yes, it is important, but anyway, not so important that you have to send people to jail. That's it. Okay, so this is defamation. That's all about defamation. Then we have the defamation is also under IPC only, section 499. For those who are interested, section 499 is defamation. Oh, sorry, it's mentioned here, section 499. Then we have contempt of court. What is contempt of court? See, contempt of court refers to again, this word contempt of court is not defined in the constitution. Okay, please don't say, sir, where is it defined? It is not defined in the constitution. But Contempt of Court Act 1971 tries to describe what is meant by civil contempt, what is meant by criminal contempt. So what is civil contempt of court? If you knowingly, willingly, willfully disobey the lawful order of a court's order. Court says do this and you disobey it. That is called a civil contempt of court. If you scandalize means to shock, to horrify somebody, make derogatory remarks. If you scandalize, if you attack the dignity, if you lower the authority, if you obstruct the course of justice, so making any kind of derogatory remark against a judge, right, against the courts, that is called a criminal contempt of court. That is why I always constantly keep on saying, we love the court, we respect the courts, and I never make fun of courts ever. You know it very well. Why? Because of contempt of court. So that is why we always say nice things about judiciary. Best judiciary in the planet is Indian judiciary. Okay, that's it. So this is called civil and criminal contempt of court. Are we clear on this, everybody? This is what is called contempt of court. Vivek, remark against spouse of judge, that could be defamation. Okay, so these are all English words. You can Google search for meaning. Scandalize means to horrify somebody, to shock somebody. Scandalous remarks, scandal, making any kind of derogatory remark, negative kind of remark against anyone without any fact, nothing. That is all called contempt of court. Okay, you are making allegation, all judges are corrupt. Where is the proof? Prove it. If you have proof, no problem. If there is no proof, sorry, contempt of court. Are we clear on this? What is the punishment? The punishment is jail sentence, maximum 6 months, or a fine, maximum 2,000, or both. Achha, why do we have contempt of court? Because we want to uphold the dignity and respect of the courts. We also want to preserve judicial independence. Not any random person can go and pass a comment on the judge, because the judge is also performing a very important task of delivery of justice under a lot of pressure, right? It is very, very important to respect the judiciary, because they have to deliver a judgment irrespective of people's popular public opinion, right? Now, just to give an example of a very interesting case. So this was the case of Prashant Bhushan. Prashant Bhushan, he is a very popular lawyer, takes up legal matters largely for the poor people and all. So he's very popular in Delhi circle especially. He'll always fight for the cause of poor. But there's a small problem, which is behavior. He also is known to make remarks on the judiciary without any proof. So a couple of years back, in 2020, when it comes to the judiciary, he made a remark. So what had happened was that at that point of time, Chief Justice S.A. Bobde was the Chief Justice, and he had gone to attend some session in Nagpur, or I think had gone to meet his family or something in Nagpur, and maybe S.A. Bobde was a bike fan. So he saw a bike standing there, a Harley Davidson bike. So Harley Davidson, every year they release one bike which is called the custom bike. So every year there is a division in Harley Davidson called Custom Vehicle Operation Division, CVO division. So that releases a bike every year, bike of the year for that particular bike. So he saw a bike called HD CVO 2020 edition. He became very impressed. Like he said, come on, I want to sit and click a photograph. That bike cost over 50 lakh rupees. He sat on that and got a photograph clicked. Later on, it turned out that the bike belonged to some BJP worker in Nagpur. He did not know all this. But Prashant Bhushan tweets, look at the CJI riding on a bike belonging to a BJP worker. Hey, sir, he sat on a bike. It by chance belonged to a BJP worker. BJP has 12 crore party members. So come on. What are you trying to imply? That is the CJI close to BJP? Then CJI called him saying, sir, please apologize. Don't make remarks. He said, no, I will not apologize. Sorry. So finally the court gave him punishment, 1 rupee fine. Why 1 rupee fine? See, the court also knew that if we impose punishment on him, he actually takes up legal matters for the poor people, deprived sections. So he's doing a great job. So the court did not want to impose harsh punishment on him. But the court also said, we want to impose a fine because we want to tell you that you are wrong. Just like Rahul Gandhi's case, the court could have simply said, I'm imposing a fine of 1,000 rupees on you. You're not saying sorry, but your statement was wrong. So you are wrong, fine. That's it. So a fine of 1 rupee was imposed. So this is there. Now, what is a problem with contempt of court? Look at this vague terminology. What is meant by scandalizing the court? What is meant by dignity, authority? These words are very difficult to define. You go to the court and you are sitting in the court and the judge gives a judgment and you start clapping, oh sir, come on, great judgments are amazing. You are a genius. Will we call it contempt of court? We don't know. If you are there in the court with all your buttons open and some kind of unique style, will you call it contempt? We don't know. We see judges becoming very angry if somebody has rolled up their sleeves in the court, if their button is open in the court. They become too harsh sometimes. So we have to be more calm and relaxed. You must have seen how serious the judges become when some district magistrate comes to court in a half shirt, etc. Because any public official also needs to come to the court in proper dress code. We understand it. That you need to maintain the dignity of the court and all. But sometimes it's okay. First timers, no problem. If somebody knows all this and repeats the behavior, you can punish them. But let's say somebody's phone rings. You say, oh, contempt of court, 7 days jail. This is too harsh. That is why we need to also, because the words are so vague that it is very subjective. And tell me something, who files a case? The judge files a case. Who decides the case? Judge decides the case. And who is giving the punishment? Judge only. So the very first principle of natural justice is getting violated. Okay. So this is with respect to contempt of court. One more thing. Who can file a case in this situation? Contempt of court cases can be filed, of course, by the Supreme Court or High Court. Supreme Court, High Court, suo moto. Do you know what is suo moto? Suo moto means on its own motion, on its own. That is called suo moto. Are we clear? On its own. So Supreme Court on its own, High Court on its own, or people can file a case. We can also file a case, but with the prior permission of the what? Attorney General, Solicitor General, Advocate General. Permission of Attorney, Solicitor, Advocate General. Do you remember these people? Attorney General, which article? Please write Attorney General's article in the same answer, give a space and write Solicitor General's article, give a space and write Advocate General article. All three in one line. Please write the answer. Don't waste time. Come on, quick. No cheating. I don't want just one. Please don't write one answer. If you don't have all three, don't write the answer. Okay, Attorney General is Article 76. There is no article for Solicitor General because he is not mentioned in the Constitution, and Advocate General is Article 165. Okay, this is all as far as the problems of contempt of court are concerned. We are done with the contempt of court. Lastly, just to add some points here, there was a judgment in 1978 called Mulgaonkar judgment. In this judgment, Supreme Court told itself and the High Courts that, guys, please calm down. Don't misuse contempt of court. Economic use it less. Don't go crazy about it. Rare. Economic use. Don't waste it like this. Every case, contempt of court, contempt of court. There should also be harmony between free criticism and judicial independence. Balance. We know that we want independence, but there should be some amount of criticism that we should be willing to accept also. Number 3, media should be allowed to criticize the judiciary, but yes, within limits. Don't cross the limit. And the judge should not be hypersensitive. Please. The judges should never be hypersensitive. Don't react to smallest things. It's okay. If somebody misbehaves again and again, you're bound to react. But at the drop of the pin, pounce on the person, punish him. Don't do it. Control. Judiciary, control. That's what is important. Clear? That's all as far as contempt of court is concerned. Let's take a break. You can solve the question in the meantime. And once we are back, we'll discuss the answer also. I launch a poll for a minute. Okay, I'll launch a poll when I come back after the break. Till 7. Meanwhile, be ready with the answer. I'll give 30 seconds once I come back after the break, and we'll have a discussion on this question. Break, please, guys. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so launching the poll. Mark the answer. 30 seconds is the time you have. Okay, so a lot of you got this correct. Of course, I believe no cheating done here. So look at the first statement. Pursuant to the report of H.N. Sanyal Committee, the Contempt of Courts Act was passed. Of course, it's impossible to know all these committees. So we don't know the first one. It is almost impossible to know the statement. Ignore it. Look at the third one. The Constitution of India defines civil and criminal contempt. So contempt of court is not defined in the Constitution. You may have a definition in CRPC and all, or the Contempt of Court Act, but not with respect to the Constitution. 3 is wrong. Remove 3. This is gone. This is gone. 1 and 2 are correct. These two have to be correct. There is no option. So 1 is correct. Now, whether 4 is correct or not, so in India, the parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. Of course, the parliament can do it. So 4 is right. B is correct. Now, look at a statement here. Second statement. The Constitution of India empowers the Supreme Court and the High Courts to punish for contempt of themselves. Which article empowers the Supreme Court and High Courts to punish for contempt? Tell me. Which article? These courts are empowered to punish for contempt because of them being called Court of Records. Do you remember? Court of Records have the power of punishing for contempt 129 and 215. Now look at this situation. If you remember, while we were discussing the judiciary, there was a question that high courts also have the power to revise the jurisdiction or to revise their judgments. Yes or no? And that statement was wrong. Now look at UPSC here. There, they did not accept that part of contempt of court, Court of Records. Here, they're accepting this part of Court of Records. Look at their own situation. They sometimes change their stand. Sometimes they agree on something, at times they change their stand in questions. So these things are minor issues that you'll always find in the paper. So don't worry on these things. What is a fact is going to be a fact. That is why don't whore around the cutoff. Score 120 plus marks in the prelims. Be on the safer side. Did we all understand this? Do you all remember the topic Court of Records? Okay. Those who have joined late, of course, you would have no idea. If you have seen the previous lecture, you would know. Court of Records was dealt with under judiciary. First part, Supreme Court, Article 129. Now, other articles are very easy and very simple. Restriction on Article 19(1)(b), that is right to assemble peacefully and without arms. So understand that right to assemble peacefully does not mean assemble anywhere. You can't say, I want to assemble in my neighbor's house. Sorry, that is not possible. Okay? You can't say, I want to have a party in my neighbor's house only. That is not possible. One more thing. You have a right to protest, of course, but there is no right to indefinite protest. You cannot occupy public space indefinitely for protest. Not allowed to occupy public space indefinitely for protest. This was said by Supreme Court in the Amit Sahni case. A. Sahni is Amit Sahni case versus Delhi Commissioner 2020. Basically post the Shaheen Bagh issue. So yes, you can protest, but don't occupy a public space forever, because it also hampers other people's rights. And you do not have a right to strike as a fundamental right. Are we clear on this? Right to strike is a statutory right. It comes from a separate law called Industrial Disputes Act 1947. Are we clear on this? Now, how can your right to move be restricted? A right to assemble, be restricted. When you want to protest, you have to inform the police. Indian Police Act 1861 is where you have to get the permission from the police to protest and all. The police can deny permission. Or there is a law called Prevention of Seditious Meetings Act, under which your right to assemble somewhere, if you are planning to start any anti-government activity, that can be curtailed. So all the laws you see, TADA, MISA, they are all children of this major law only, the anti-government law, where you cannot assemble to plan and plot against the government. Of course, it was made in the British times. Why? To prevent any kind of planning and plotting against the Britishers. Then CRPC, IPC, these are basically sections wherein unlawful assembly of 5 or more people not allowed. Unlawful assembly. 5 or more people is not allowed. Clear? So a district magistrate or an SDM or any officer that the government appoints can issue the order, and you cannot assemble. We saw this happening a lot in the recent times. Sometimes when fights break here and there's some communal issue. So Section 144 or Section 141 is used by the local DM to state that grouping of 5 or more people is now declared unlawful and hence is not allowed. Are we clear? So this is what is called unlawful assembly. It is totally subject to the district magistrate's opinion or SDM's opinion in that area, or if the state government appoints some other officer for that purpose, that officer's opinion, that can't be questioned. This can be done for maximum 2 months, extension of 6 more months. That's it. Are we clear on this? So this is a restriction on your right to assemble anywhere and everywhere. Third, right to form associations, right to form unions, right to form cooperative societies. So we know very well this cooperative societies was added later on in 2011. More on this in your social justice classes. 97th Amendment Act 2011. So what is the restriction? Sovereignty and integrity of India, public order, morality. What is public order and sovereignty of India getting, how is it getting affected? you have a right to form associations. My simple question is, do you also have the right to form a terrorist association? Of course not, because a terrorist association is going to violate sovereignty of the country, integrity of the country. It can hamper public order, restriction, or morality. For example, in India, brothels are not legal, right? Any individual, if they want to sell, so any individual, if they want to sell sex for money, prostitution, there is no law to prevent prostitution. Okay? But prostitution as a group activity, as a collective association, brothel, that's illegal. That is why you have all these raids in hotels, spas, etc. Because it is like a racket. You have a pimp, you have a brothel, and it is running like some kind of a association or an activity. So that is not allowed. You cannot have such a business in the country. But an individual is free to sell sex for money. There is no law which prevents it. Anyway, now under this, there is a law which restricts you from forming any kind of terrorist association. That is called UPA. What is UPA? Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. UAPA. UPA. A very commonly misused law by the government. Now, what is UPA? Firstly, understand that this UPA is applicable on Indians and foreigners. Covers Indians plus foreigners. Now, this UPA, if you think of the lineage of UPA, the lineage is in the Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act. Do you remember this law called Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act 1919? Have you ever heard of this law? What was this law? Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act was the original name of the law, was Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act, which was popularly called the Rowlatt Act. Anyway, in your history classes, you'll be discussing about the Rowlatt Act in detail. So, UPA, the purpose is to prevent certain unlawful activities of individuals and associations, and also dealing with terrorist activities. So, both individuals and organizations can be declared to be a terrorist organization. Government can also declare you to be a terrorist, can declare your group to be a terrorist group based on, of course, certain parameters. Now, if you are a member of any association which is declared to be unlawful, that is also an offense. Are we clear on this? If you are a part of any organization, let's say there's a WhatsApp group, and that group is declared to be unlawful, and you are a part of that group, you will also be booked under UPA. Are you clear? So please join WhatsApp groups and all these groups carefully, because we don't know what may happen in future. Now, what is a punishment under UPA? From 5 years to death, life imprisonment, all these are punishments. If you are found to be raising funds for any terrorist organization, the punishment is 5 years or up to life. If because of your terrorist behavior, somebody has died, it can be death sentence also can be given to you. So this law allows for even death sentence. Now, in this law, there is a definition of terrorist act. So what is called a terrorist activity? Any activity which or which is likely to threaten the unity, the integrity, the security, the sovereignty, including economic security of the country, or any act which strikes or is likely to strike terror in the minds of people, terror using bombs, using explosives, things like dynamites, right? Dynamite is it? Inflammables. Have you heard of this word called inflammables in your science classes? I hope everybody has crossed class 10th here. So you know what is inflammable substance. Inflammable substances are those substances which cause fire, right? Highly inflammable, which can catch fire very, very easily. Or what else? Lethal weapons. What else? Explosives. Or they say any other means of whatever nature. Any other means of whatever nature. Clear? So, for example, RDX, yes, petrol bombs, possible. RDX, possible. So, any act which threatens the unity integrity of the country or strikes terror in the minds of people using any other means of whatever nature and causes or is likely to cause death, damage to property, etc., is called a terrorist activity. Are you clear on this? So this is what is a terrorist activity. Now coming to this law. Acha, one more thing, very interesting. If you kidnap somebody, hijack a plane, and you compel the government to meet your demands, in movies, you know, they show you kidnap somebody, hijack a bank, like this Ajit's movie, which came recently. So people from Tamil Nadu would know. I don't know the name of the movie, where he has hijacked a bank, or rather is making the government meet the demands. Thunivu, I don't know the pronunciation, Thunivu or what is the correct pronunciation, but I just saw the movie. So anyway, Pathan, did it have this hijack thing? I don't think so. Maybe. That group was a terrorist group only. That John Abraham's group. Anyway. So, as I said, if you compel the government to meet your demands by kidnapping, that's called a terrorist activity. And one more thing for you, for all the civil services aspirants, today's motivation: if in future you become a civil servant and somebody kidnaps you and kills you, don't worry. When you are dying, be satisfied that the person who has kidnapped and killed you, we are going to give him death sentence. So you can die in peace. That the person is going to get death sentence. So kidnapping any public official, a public functionary, is also called a terrorist activity, right? See, why I say this is motivation is because if right now somebody kidnaps you, it's just some criminal offense. But if you are a government official and people kidnap you, terrorist activity. See the elevation of status in life for you. So please clear the examination. Okay? I mean, not to get kidnapped, but just to showcase the change of status. See, any motivation is a good motivation. As the legendary actor Rakhi Sawant says, any publicity is a good publicity. Now, issues with UPA. See, issue number one, very vague definition of terrorist or terror activity. I'll tell you how. Look at the definition. Any act which is likely to threaten. What is likely to? Very strange, right? Likely to. Or look at this. Now, please follow the chain of thoughts. Any act which is likely to strike terror using any other means of whatever nature which may cause or is likely to cause death, damage to property, etc. When your mom throws a slipper towards you, that's an act which is likely to strike terror, which may also cause death, and she is using any other means of whatever nature. Is your mom now, when she throws a slipper on you, becoming a terrorist? Will you go to court and say, file a case, UPA against my family? They're always beating me. See, the words are so loose and vague. What is any other means? Here you are talking about dynamites and explosives, and suddenly you say any other means. So we have to be very refined here. That is why sometimes for basic crimes also UPA is enforced. So this dividing line is slightly weak. Then under UPA it is very difficult to get bail. So there is a section 43D subsection 5 which says that bail will be denied if on the face of it charges appear to be true. When the police files a case and the judge feels that the evidence seems to be fair without even verifying it, if the evidence appears to be true, then the bail is denied to you. Okay. It gives arbitrary power to states, the arbitrary power to arrest, hold you in jail, long period of charge sheet filing. The police, the NIA gets 180 days to file a case against you while you are in jail, 6 months. This is arbitrary power only given to the state. Apart from this, one more important thing, it also undermines the state police, because the National Investigating Agency NIA will enter the state and start its own operation. What is the state police doing then? State police, public order, these are stateless topics. So this is also violating the federal provisions. SC said bail is norm, jail is exception. We fully agree. Najib case 2021, Supreme Court said bail will be granted if fundamental rights are violated due to prolonged delay in holding trial. But who will go and check for all these people, right? This law has provisions mentioned which deny bail, right? In other cases, bail should be given, but when the law says bail will not be given, you can't give a bail. And this law is very clear that it completely dilutes the distinction between any political dissent and a criminal activity, because it all depends on the government authorities. If you are a political dissenter, UPA. If you are a criminal, UPA. It can be imposed on anyone. And let me tell you frankly, the conviction rate, how many people are found guilty, conviction rate, out of every 100 people who are taken to court, how many are found guilty? 2016 to 2019, the conviction rate was 2.2%. 2.2%. This is the conviction rate in UPA. In the last 10 years, 10,253 people have been arrested. How many were convicted? 253. More than 10,200 people were found to be not guilty. This is the classic example that you are arresting people putting them in jail, not giving them bail, but still you are not able to prove the evidence in court. This means the arrest is false. How could you not get the evidence proved in court? It's all false evidence. As simple as that. And I think the topper states here, few states misuse it a lot. Manipur, 30% cases of UPA come from Manipur. Then UP, almost 20% cases. Then Assam, 14% cases. Bihar, 8% cases. Jharkhand, 7% cases. Jammu and Kashmir, around 7% cases. And then you have Tamil Nadu and other states. So this is what is the problem with UPA. See, government gets unremitting powers in UPA. There are so many sections in UPA, all modified, that give the police the power to arrest, search and seize, right? All offenses, cognizable offenses, right? Detention period, 180 days. And no anticipatory bail. Presumption of guilt is there. In this law also, you are assumed to be guilty, right? Section 43E says you are presumed to be guilty only. So all these are problem with UPA. What can we say? Anyway, that's there as far as this law is concerned. But if you are removing sedition, this will not go away. Pooja, why in every important law vague terms? See, let's not be harsh on that. I also agree. When I say vague definition, not every word can be defined properly, but this is sometimes too loose. You know, vague terms keep the scope open for the state to misuse power. Now, I'm not saying it is done deliberately. These laws have a British origin. So, you know, people normally, I just today had this discussion with somebody, a former police force or IPS officer, who made a claim that if you are saying that IPC is so bad, why did you not refine the IPC in the last 75 years? We fully understand the task is difficult. But the real problem is not that we don't have the talent and skill to modify IPC. We have. We don't have the intent to modify IPC. Because all the British made laws always were heavily tilted in favor of the government or in the favor of government. No government in power will willingly give up its power to harass people. It's impossible. It is impossible. Power corrupts. That is why the problem is that they will continue to have these vague words, will never define it categorically, because once you define something categorically, you are bound by the law. That's the problem. Anyway, moving on to 19(1)(d) and 19(1)(e). Both are the concepts of the same the source. We believe in one citizenship, one domicile. So, right to move freely throughout the territory of India, right to reside and settle in any part of territory of India. Are we clear? These two rights are there. Of course, they are subject to the common exception. What is the restriction? Interest of general public. Things like if you have a contagious disease, if there's a pandemic, laws like the Epidemic Diseases Act, laws like Disaster Management Act, what else? Tell me. Schedule 5 areas, Schedule 6 areas, something called inner line permit. Yes or no? What else? Border areas, So there are lot of restrictions on these. Of course, interest of scheduled tribes is there, right? So schedule 5 areas, 6 areas. Same thing goes here also. Same as previous slide. Okay. So these are all restrictions that are imposed on our right to move freely here and there, or to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. The grounds are what? General public, interest of any scheduled tribe. See, border areas, Sakshi, it's very logical. It will also impact the security of the country, which in turn impacts general public. So you can't go and say, I want to purchase this border land. I want to live on the border only. Of course, strategic areas. You can't stay there. And lastly, 19(1)(g), right to practice any profession or to carry on any trade, any occupation, any business. Okay. So this is what is Article 19(1)(g). We have a right to POTB. Have you seen this article before? Please tell me. Do you remember? Have we seen this article before? Which article? Don't write yes. You write which article, please. Oh, some are writing no also. Oh, how sweet and innocent of you. No means only one thing. No means no revision. Article 15, PA Inamdar judgment. When the reservation was being imposed in the private schools and colleges, the Supreme Court cancelled it, saying it violates Article 19(1)(g). Okay. So that is there. Now, as far as the restrictions are concerned, professional or technical qualifications may be required. You can say today, sir, I want to start my own hospital. I want to conduct heart surgeries. Please, I won't run my own business, own profession of heart surgeries. Come on, guys, come to me. I will conduct operation on you. Sir, please calm down. We require a technical degree for that. So sometimes for certain professions, we may need you to have a technical degree. So that is actually a restriction. Or tomorrow you will say, sir, I want to make my own missile in my house only. That's my profession, my trade, my business. Of course not. Monopoly over any trade, business, industry or service excluding citizens. The government has full right to have monopoly. Are we clear on this? Government can simply have a monopoly over anything. Like police. Who controls police? The government only. You can't say, this is my police personnel, I'll have my own examination, and this is my own police personnel. From today onwards, they will enforce all the traffic rules in the city. Sorry. Are we clear on this? Restrictions on 19(1)(g). Look at this question. Very simple and easy question asked last year only. The right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to Indian citizens. But these rights are not absolute. Of course, rights can never be absolute. This is India, not USA. Right of movement, right of residence. Article 19(1)(d). Article 19(1)(e). And their restriction is 19 clause 5. Clear on this? We have seen all these restrictions. Please write all the answers, explain, and that's it. Done. Simple, straightforward. Is US rights? Yes, in USA, largely rights are absolute. Most of the rights are absolute. Kishan, your question was just addressed by the SME, Kishan. Are you not reading the answer that they are writing for you? Intro and conclusion, Vivek. I should write the entire answer, right? In the intro, mention how fundamental rights in the country are not absolute and reasonable restrictions can be imposed on them. That's it. 10 marker question, small intro. Do you remember that first or the first Friday we discussed answer writing? Then body, mention this, all the points, and in the conclusion, simply justify that need for restriction. That's it. Done. Okay. We're also done with Article 19. Coming to Article 20. Have we seen Article 20 anywhere? Article 20 anywhere? Reference to Article 20, not article per se, but reference to Article 20. That this article can never be suspended, or the movement to court can't be suspended. Okay, very good. Article 359, National Emergency. Great. This Article 20 has 3 clauses, A, B, and C. So we'll discuss all these things, all these 3 things one by one. First up is no ex post facto law. What is no ex post facto law? It basically refers to, very simple. This definition is meant for you. You can read it on your own. I'll just help you understand. So please hear me out with patience. Ex post facto, it basically refers to retrospective. Retrospective effect. Meaning from backdate. Example. In 2012, there was a case called Nirbhaya case. Are we all aware of this? Yes. In this case, all the people who were caught were convicted by the court. One such person was a minor, a juvenile. Minor means under 18 years of age. So we do not treat minors as adults. We don't send them to the prisons and all. We send them to juvenile justice homes, and there they are left off after they turn 18. This kid was just 17, so he just escaped it very, very narrowly, the punishment. Now, other convicts said that the minor had been the one who was the most, his actions were the most horrifying, is what others said. Anyway, does not really matter. We can't rely on these convicts also. But still, the minor was a part of that entire gruesome, inhuman act. In 2013, the government formed a commission that was called under Justice J.S. Verma to look into this problem, that can we treat kids between 16 to 18 years as adults or not? And we realized that yes, we must. We must. If the kid has attained maturity, we should treat them as adults. So finally, we said that yes, from 2013 onwards or 2015 onwards, we have the provision now. If you are between 16 to 18 and you are a part of some very gruesome act, your case is sent to Juvenile Justice Board, JJB, Juvenile Justice Board. Juvenile Justice Board is going to decide whether you should be treated as an adult or not. Okay. And if they say that yes, this person had attained maturity, then you despite being under 18 can be treated as an adult. Change made 2015. Are we clear? Now tell me, should we punish this minor under the new law? Yes or no? Tell me. Yes. What kind of group of future aspirants are sitting here? Yes. Okay. If we punish the minor because a law is made right now, then the government can simply say, we are modifying IPC today, and any person who was arrested for robbery since 1950, they will be jailed for life. So all the people who have even done the punishment, please come back now, because we have modified the law and we have made it applicable from back date. Understand? This is not possible. This retrospective effect is not applicable for a criminal case. Why? Because it is unjust. It is highly inequitable. It can be misused by the police. This may be a one-off case, but we cannot modify laws on a case-to-case basis. What is no ex post facto law? It means you are now punishing somebody for an act which was not punishable when he committed that act. That's the whole point. No person shall be convicted of any offense except for a violation of law in force at the time of committing the crime. So you can only be punished with that much amount of punishment only, which was there at the time you committed the crime, not more than that. Or you cannot be subject to any penalty also, which was greater than what was prescribed by the law at the time you committed the crime. So please, this will be prone to misuse. Are you clear? But this is limited to only criminal cases, meaning civil cases, tax cases. Tax cases are filed from, if government simply can say we are raising the income tax limit applicable from 2015. Possible. It can be done. Civil laws can be made applicable from a previous date also. Criminal laws cannot. It will misuse. It is prone to misuse. So you have to understand that retrospective effect is a very dangerous precedent. Once you start and allow this to happen, the state can misuse it. So let's say right now, it is not a criminal activity to say criticize the government. Or let's say if I say the government is not working very well, inefficient government. Tomorrow a law is passed and the government says from 2021 only, whoever said the government is inefficient will be hanged till death. What is this nonsense? So you can start punishing people selectively by making a law and passing it from backdate. That is why no ex post facto law. It's not possible. Even if you refile the case, there is no merit here, because the whole concept is when the person committed the crime, what was the law? Tell me what was the law? What was the punishment? I can only give that much of punishment. Are we clear on this? Okay. Are we clear on this concept? Whenever you are filing a case against anyone for any kind of crime, the person can only be punished with that much amount of punishment which was there at the time they committed the crime. Okay, great. Siva, repeat once again, thrice, third time. I'll repeat once again. You can only be punished for any criminal activity with that much amount of punishment only, which is prescribed by the law or mentioned in the law at the time you committed a crime. If for robbery, the punishment says 7 years and you commit a robbery today, you can only be punished for 7 years. If tomorrow the government says for robbery punishment is 100 years, but you committed the robbery today, you cannot be punished with the new law. New laws only from the date they are passed. Clear everyone now? A.S. Hussain, IPC 123A. What is, sir? 124A is edition, sir, not 123A, sir. Okay. Now, second thing, no double jeopardy. What is that? No person will be punished for the same offense more than once. Okay. No person will be punished for the same offense more than once, no double punishment. This is also limited to judicial proceedings only. The court will never punish you more than once. So, nemo debet bis vexeri. What is the meaning of this? A man must not be put twice in peril for the same offense. This is also there in USA. The Fifth Amendment Act of US Constitution. The Fifth Amendment is no double jeopardy. You will not be punished with the same offense for the same offense more than once. Are we clear on this? If you commit a crime, you will not be punished more than once for that crime. Let's say you have killed somebody, you are given life imprisonment. After 14 years, you come out and you kill somebody else. This is a new crime, not the same crime. You cannot be sent to jail for the same crime. Clear? So that is there. One more thing. No double jeopardy. See, the concept and the idea of this is that we will not harass people, because see, state has all the resources. It should not be allowed to make repeated attempts to convict any individual for any alleged offense. You are subjecting the person to embarrassment, expense, ordeal, compelling him to live in a continuing state of anxiety, insecurity, that I will be punished again and again for the same offense. For example, and this is only for judicial proceedings. When you get poor marks in your school, very poor marks, you come back home with a report card, your mom thrashes you properly, nicely. Punishment over. In the evening, your father comes. He also thrashes you properly. Can you claim double punishment? Of course not. Why? Because it is only meant for judicial proceedings. So if it happens next time, don't go to court. Okay? That this is double jeopardy. It is not double jeopardy. And sometimes, movies also make a mockery of all this without understanding things. So there was a movie, and I had not seen the movie for a long period of time, but because students would constantly come to me and say, no sir, in that movie they have shown this. So the idea is that if you are being hanged, death sentence, what if the rope breaks? Punishment has been executed, task over, right? This has been shown in one Hindi movie called Luck. So I had to finally see the movie also for this. That is it really true? And yes, in the movie Luck, they have shown this, that this actor, I think Ravi Kishan, he is jailed, he is given death sentence, he is being hanged, and the rope breaks. And then he comes out smiling and dancing with the background voice that because the Indian legal system does not allow for double punishment. Nonsense. And this is not some new provision. In the old CRPC 1898 also it was mentioned, section 403, that you will be hanged by the neck till death. Are we clear? So the punishment, if the rope breaks, has not been executed. Execute the punishment. So next time, if you are given death sentence, don't hope for the rope to break. Nothing is going to happen. You will be hanged again. Are we clear? So, Sai Babu, the recording is there. It's again, I don't know what to explain. Don't say explain the entire topic. Ask a question, an exact question that I can answer. Are we clear on this? This is also meant for judicial proceedings only. It is not meant for administrative proceedings, etc. I'll tell you why. An example of this would be, say, you get some kind of punishment in your office because of bad behavior. You are not given promotion. That same bad behavior can be used again and again and again to deny promotions to you. So double punishment, triple punishment can happen in administrative cases, not in the court. Court will never punish you more than once. And number 3, no self-incrimination. So have you seen any Hollywood movie where they always say that you have a right to remain silent, whatever you say will be used against you? Indian police also has to say the same thing, but I don't think the Indian police understands. This is our right to remain silent. The accused need not make any statement against his will. We are always assumed or presumed to be innocent. It is the task of prosecution to establish guilt. Okay? It is not our task. So when the police asks you in the police lockup very nicely, did you commit a crime? You can simply say no. Are we clear on this? There is no need to accept your crime. It is a task and duty of police to prove your crime. No self-incrimination. No person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. There is no need to accept your guilt. Let the police prove it. Are we clear? If you want to accept it out of free will, please do. You will save the court's time. But there is otherwise no force upon you to accept your guilt. Clear? It does not extend to compulsory production of material objects. For example, you will not be asked to accept your guilt, but the police can conduct investigations. For that, they may ask you to showcase your body. They may ask you to give thumb impression. They may ask you to give any blood specimen, etc. They may ask you to give your laptop, phone password. Some people will say, I will accept the crime, I won't give my phone password. That's there. And this also extends only to criminal proceedings, not for civil proceedings. Clear? Now, in the modern day and age, there have been a lot of these unique tools which are used. For example, there's something called narco analysis. Are you aware of narco analysis? Are you aware of polygraph test? Brain mapping, etc. Narco analysis. See, polygraph test is when they attach certain things to your body, checking your heart rate, checking your pupil dilation, all these things. Whether a lie detector test. Narco analysis is basically based on a very simple concept. So those who here have ever taken some alcohol, they would realize that when you drink too much, 2 things happen, or 3 things rather happen. You start randomly messaging the person who has no interest in you. You start speaking in English, and you always want to drive the car or the bike. So the idea being, when you take too much of alcohol, you lose the control over your central nervous system and you start speaking the truth. Same logic. Narco analysis. They inject drugs in your body, sodium pentothal, limited amounts, wherein you start losing grip over yourself and you may blurt out certain things which can help the police in finding out the investigation procedure, finding or helping them find some new evidence, etc. But these things require permission of accused. Without the accused's permission, this cannot be done. Are we clear on this? Without your permission, the police cannot force all these things on you. Selvi case 2010. Shruti, sir, but if the person is not guilty, then still that person suffer harm. Don't give permission. Right? Simple. Shalu, sir, police beat people to. That's what I said in the very first class on rights. Don't tell me, sir, why, despite rights are there, why are people misusing it, or why are we not enjoying it? Police can beat you. Go and complain. Who is stopping you? That is not legal. The police doing third-degree torture and all is not legal. That is why when you give any kind of evidence or witness in front of police, the police statement, when you go to the court will ask you, did you give the statement out of free will, or did they beat you? You can simply say, no, they were beating me and I gave the statement out of fear. You can backtrack. As simple as that. Okay. So this is there with respect to police lack of capacity building. Of course, that's there. This with respect to Article 20. But sir, under 18-year girl beaten by police, you have seen. Then Anushka, click a photograph, make a video, send it to the concerned SP, send to the concerned DGP of your state. Be an informed citizen. Don't let them see you recording a video, or else they'll beat you also. So be the attentive person at your own risk. What punishment is given to that guy? Surafuddin is on different track only. Nirbhaya. What punishment to that guy? No punishment. He was in the juvenile justice home. He was let out. And now I think he runs some tailoring shop or something. I'm not sure. Okay. We are done with Article 20. Now, the best possible article that any individual can have is Article 21. The widest possible article, right to life and personal liberty. No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. Without following a procedure, we will not kill you, we will not jail you. Are we clear on this? What is meant by a procedure established by law? See, this is a concept borrowed from Japan. Procedure established by law. So, for example, what is the entire criminal justice system? If you are a policeman, what's the first task that you have? Tell me. As a policeman, your first step in the criminal justice system, what is your first task? Inquiry, FIR, directly FIR, arrest, investigation. Task 1 is to prevent crime. Why this anger? Future bureaucrats, I am highly doubtful of your behavior in future. First task is to arrest only, FIR only. Prevent crime first. Now, if a crime has been committed, then what do? Inquire first. Okay. Then, of course, you can file a report, then further investigations, Based on the investigations, if you feel it is okay, make some arrest. Then you take the matter to court. File a charge sheet in court. Charge sheet meaning what are the charges that the police is levying against you, what are the laws you have broken. In the court also, the trial takes place in the court. You are given a lawyer. If you can't afford a lawyer, don't worry, we'll give you a lawyer. And finally, verdict comes, and we know very well you will be either acquitted if you are a rich person, if you are have not committed a crime, and or you will be convicted if you have committed a crime. And if you are convicted, then fine or jail or whatever punishment. This is the entire structure, the most general structure. Whatever law you break, the police can never directly punish you, cannot directly go to court, and the court will not directly send you to jail. This procedure is always followed. The procedure established by laws in the country are always followed. Who is following the procedure? Right? Executive. Executive needs to follow procedures. This means that the executive action cannot be arbitrary. The executive is always limited. So yes, we can kill you, but we'll follow a procedure if you have broken a law, and then we'll kill you. Yes, we can jail you, we can take away your personal liberty, but only if we follow a proper procedure. Then we'll prove your guilt and then punish you. Are we clear? Procedure established by law. Okay. Encounter is wrong. Encounter violates Article 21 actually. So that is a big problem. But then encounters are mostly done in the garb of self-defense. That, what could we do? This person was absconding, running away. So what could we do? Encounter. Okay. Filing charge sheet basically means what are the charges against you? What laws have you violated? So when we go to court, we have to tell the court. The police will tell the court that, my lords, section 200, 300, 4, what all sections have you violated, have you broken? That's a charge sheet, entire sheet of all the charges which are being leveled against you, that these laws you have broken. Okay. Now, but tell me something. Let us say there is a law in the country which says wearing a dress like this, if any human being wears a dress like this, wearing such a dress, let us say the law says you will be given 10 years of jail sentence if you are found wearing a dress like this. Okay, 10 years of jail sentence. Then we tell people we have made a law and we are telling everybody that please don't wear such dresses. We have informed everyone. Now we are telling people don't wear such dress. Somebody goes and complains that, sir, this actor is wearing this dress. Police conducts inquiry, files FIR, collects evidence, arrests Ranveer Singh, file a charge sheet, take him to court. In court, they prove it that yes, see, wearing this dress, law has been broken. Arrest him. 10 years jail. Did we follow procedure? Tell me, yes or no? We did not follow procedure. Why are you saying no? Only one person is saying no again and again. Of course, we followed procedure. We have followed procedure. This is the procedure. The problem is, what if the law is only stupid? Why should there be a law? Why should there be a law which tells us that wearing this dress is right or wrong? What if the law itself is a problem? If tomorrow the government says anybody found eating chicken tikka will be shot to death. What kind of law is this? Stupid law. Law has to be fair, reasonable, rational, logical, etc. Just. We can't make random kind of laws. But whether Ranveer Singh wears this dress or no dress, it's his choice. What is it? 10 years of jail sentence. Clear? This element was not there in the Indian Constitution. In 1978, in the Menka Gandhi case, Supreme Court said that, see, what dress you want to, what kind of law is being made can also be questioned. Because in the original A.K. Gopalan case, when this matter was brought in court, that, sir, should we not question the law also? If any kind of law is made and we simply follow procedure, is it sufficient? What if the law itself is wrong? Finally, in 1978, the parliament said that, see, please, just following procedure is not sufficient. We have to also question what kind of law is being enforced on people, because the law has to be fair, law has to be transparent, law has to be rational, reasonable, just, etc. So Supreme Court introduced an element of what is called due process has to be done. This is borrowed from USA. And what does it do? Due process of law means who makes the law? Legislature. Legislative action cannot be arbitrary. Are we clear? Okay. This is what prevents the parliament, the state legislatures from making any kind of law, because if you make a law which is irrational, which violates rights of people, etc., the Supreme Court will say, sorry, due process is not there, and law is cancelled. Are we clear on this? So now Article 21 also includes plus due process of law is also included, though it is not mentioned in this Article 21. Why? Because Constitution's words can only be changed by the Parliament, but it has been interpreted to also mean both procedure established and due process. I'll repeat once again. Procedure established keeps a check on executive action. Due process keeps a check on legislative action. Are we clear, everybody, on this? Or is there any issue here? Okay. Now, over the course of various years and all, Supreme Court has said that, see, Right to, what is this right to life? Just to live somehow? No. Right to life is a very wide kind of right. It means a lot of things. Right to live with dignity, right to decent environment, right to livelihood, right to privacy. A very important case called Puttaswamy case. Justice Puttaswamy, in which a 9-judge bench said, we have a right to privacy. Article 21, right to privacy is right to life. Okay. Right to shelter, right to health. This Mohinder Singh Chawla case, 1997, MS Chawla. Case is not important, I'm just mentioning. Right to free education up to 14 years, Unni Krishnan case originally. Right to free legal aid, right against solitary confinement. Tell me which judgment? Right against solitary confinement. Shatrughan Chauhan case, 2014. Right to speedy trial, right against handcuffing, right to timely medical treatment, right of prisoner to have basic necessities of life, right to fair trial, right, uh, right not to be driven out of the state, right against public hanging, Lashma Devi case, right against inhuman treatment, right against delayed execution, right to travel abroad. This was the Menka Gandhi case actually. Right against bonded labor, right against custodial harassment, right to emergency medical aid. All these are now a part of Article 21. Right to appeal from a judgment, right to hearing, right to information, right to reputation. Right against bar fetters. These are called bar fetters, where your hands and legs are tied to a bar. This is called a crossbar fetter. This is a bar fetter. And these are called chain bar fetters or chain fetters. You cannot be chained like an animal. Right to sleep, which you are enjoying, some of you in the class, and then wake up and ask the question. Right to sleep. Right to electricity. Right to marriage. Hadia case. You have a right to marry anyone of your choice. Of course, the other person should also want to marry you. It is very important element, please. So right to marry the person of your choice is a part of Article 21. Right to freedom from noise pollution. Right against sexual harassment. Just couple of years back, Mudrika Singh case. So sexual harassment is now a violation of right to life of an individual. Look at how important these elements have become. So this is all as far as Article 21 is concerned. Solve some very difficult questions. I hope, Vivek, sexual harassment means. Sexual harassment, the definition is subject to various laws. I will give you a definition that will be applicable for you. Under the Central Civil Services Rules 1965, as amended till 2014, if you make sexually colored remarks, if you approach any female, male with certain sexual advances, if you show them pornographic material, all these are examples of sexual harassment. It can vary from case to case. Please answer this very difficult question. I'll give you 30 seconds. That should be more than enough. Will we ever get a 90+% correct answer? Very close. I don't know, some of you marked Article 19. I just said right to privacy is a part of Article 21C. Solve one more question. Again, a difficult one. 30 seconds. Here also, some of you have simply marked some random statements denying me the happiness of 90+% correct answers, or maybe you don't know. Possible. Solve this question. Asked in 2018, right to privacy was asked again. Oh, finally, 93% correct answers. Some of them got it wrong again. See, in 2018, they asked a question, right to privacy. Again, after a few years, right to privacy. Anyway, that's all. Just a small article, 21A. This article was added in 2002 with the 86th Amendment Act. This is the Right to Education article, which says that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children between the age 6 to 14 years. Are we clear on this? The state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age 6 to 14 years in such a manner as the state may by law determine. A non-self-executory article, and the state has made a law. This this is the law. Right of children to free and compulsory education Act 2009. So under this law, we have the right to education now made a fundamental right under Article 21A. Okay. So with the same Amendment Act, 3 changes were made. Change number 1. This was a change, of course. Change number 2, DPSP was modified. So what happened under Article 45? Now the next target is provision for early childhood care and education to children below the age of 6 years. That's a modification. And number 3, fundamental duties. So it shall be the duty of every citizen of India who is a parent or a guardian to provide education or opportunities for education to their kids, child or ward, as the case may be, between 6 to 14 years. So with one Amendment Act, 3 changes made in the rights, in the DPSP, in the fundamental duties. Are we clear on this? That's it. We are done for the day. Okay, that is more than enough. Let's meet on Monday and we'll continue our discussion on the remaining articles. Now everything is very small. We have done the large chunk of it. So we'll have very small articles, just read and move forward. And Monday is the second last class. We'll have an extra class on Saturday, and that will be more than sufficient. Okay, leaderboard. Ravi at the top with 9 correct. Then a lot of you have 8 correct. Gulam, Baldev. Is it Racha or Raka? Konda, Abhishek, Aarti, Devansh, Bhumika, Yatindra, Kartikeyan, Femina, Rajvi, Vaishna, Mayank, Avni. And then we have some people who have 7 correct. I think a lot of you would have 7 correct, but this is what the topper list looks like. Okay. Yes, Hussain, sir, education, higher education, we can't make it free and all, because if you give it to be a fundamental right, then the government will have to ensure that they make provisions to have it for people. So higher education is still very costly. So right now that is not something that we can achieve through economic means. That is why maybe in future, not right now. Rachakinda is my surname. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Sahitya. Oh, Sahitya. K. Navina, what is left wing? It all depends. See, the very generic definition of left and right is if you feel a group is more important than an individual, you are a right winger. That group could be a caste group, a religion group, linguistic group, your state, your country. That's why nationalists are seen to be right wingers, because they believe that a group called the nation is more important than an individual. A left winger is somebody who believes that an individual is more important than a group. So left wing. Extremes of both the things are wrong, right? Like left wing extremism, Maoists, they believe to hell with everything. Individuals will govern. Right wing, extreme right wing, Hitler, he said, for my country, my race, I can kill anyone. So extremes are wrong. Okay. Sir, in weekly test, how come topper is able to score all correct and under 10 seconds only? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they are too good or they are cheating. You would know what is correct. See, it's okay. If anybody is cheating, does not really matter. Due process of law is equal to procedure established by law plus just fair law. There is no need to add procedure established. Procedure does not keep a check on executive action. Monica, communism doesn't support individualism. Yes, it does. That is the whole idea of communism. That it does not support individualism, as in individuals are very important and the society has to be individualistic. No, but they support that the importance of an individual is way more than that of a group. That's the concept. So you're trying to mix it with capitalism, which is slightly different. So what issues and concerns do we have? No extra class tomorrow. Sir, what if a person commits same crime? I explained this point. Na? If you are out on jail, if you have, let's say you have killed somebody, you are sent to jail for 10 years. After you come out, again kill somebody. It's a different crime. How can it be a same crime? How can you commit the same? How can you kill somebody twice? Let's say you beat somebody. You are sent to jail. You come out, you beat him again. This is a different crime. You are beating the person separately. Are we clear? So this is a different crime. The crime against something, a person has to commit different crimes, not different types of crimes. Different crime. If you break the traffic signal today, you committed a crime. You break the traffic signal tomorrow, that's again a new crime. The nature is the same, but it's a different crime. We'll say you broke the signal twice, right? Clarify, Kapil, I couldn't understand your doubt only. How to tackle people like Rana Ayub? Ignore them. That's the only way. We need not legitimize them. See, I want to convince you because you are a fence sitter. If you have already decided that you hate the country, I can't convince you. I don't want to waste my energy in convincing somebody who is already convinced of something. There is no point. Ignore them. Do not discuss about them. They will become irrelevant on their own, because all they do or all they need is publicity. Either they are so stupid that they showcase their stupidity like this, or they are doing it for publicity. So no human being can be so stupid. They are doing it out of publicity only. Ignore them. Yes, Kishan, we can say so. Bhumika, that is the whole cause of concern, that no restrictions on the judiciary. Swati, congratulations, Swati, getting 86.98%. Great. Now, Monica, sometimes maybe in the prelims they may ask a question, basic definition of liberty, etc. In mains and all, not really. Tarun, okay. Since the poll is now over, please tell me how many of you were in class who have taken the class 10th exam and result was out today. A for yes, A for class 10th, B for class 12th. Please mark the poll. A for class 10th and B for class 12th. Oh, we have few. Who is marking C and D? Okay, so how was the result, guys? Don't worry. These results don't matter. Let your relatives enjoy, make comments on you. It does not matter. If you have garnered the specific skills and if you clear UPSC, these things will not matter. Right now, since you are trapped there, you may feel, oh, it's all that matters. But in future, don't worry. If you have not scored, if you have scored well, very good. If not, don't worry. You clear UPSC, everything will be okay. Anshu, 95%. Jhansi Rani got 984 in inter 4 years back. It's okay, it's okay. No need to get emotional. Sarufuddin, ignore it, sir. It's not. It's a 10th and 12th result. CBSE 10, 12 results were declared. So it's okay. Suddenly somebody is very panicky. What happened? I want to know. Okay, I believe that's all. We are done. How many days taken to check mains question? You please SMEs send this, or Shalu send this query to Target IAS, they'll let you know. So there is a separate team to check the answers. Kapil, if a person committed many different crimes at once for murder and robbery simultaneously, different charges. So there will be different sections you have broken. They are all clubbed together, and under different section, different punishment will be given to you. Okay? Clear, Kapil, now? G2 UP board 2018 91%, rank 25 in UP. Great, amazing. So we have some amazing people here. Still waiting for results. Some person told me that I should have to do some small things. What is this, Aarti? I have no idea. Okay, that is it for today. Please enjoy your weekend. And apart from enjoying, please also study. Weekends are meant for enjoyment plus also studies. Rishanando, sir, in case of sexual harassment, they file the case after 5 years, 6 years. In that case, how the? Yes. I mean, that is a big problem. If the case is too old, it's difficult to find evidence. Right, that's it. Kishan, not really. I mean, for UPSC, these marks don't matter, frankly. So don't let these marks dissuade you. These marks are just a proof that you studied properly. So this could be a factor that somebody who's more focused. So this could be a very important factor to showcase that you can study for long hours. But things go wrong. People improve, people change. So all that matters is what you do eventually in UPSC. Okay. Okay, guys, that's it. Let's end our discussion for today. We'll meet on Monday with the remaining topics. And that is going to be all for today. Jai Hind.